They asked for 2 crores maintenance.
2 crores monthly maintenance,
And then
500 crores compensation.
For a person who is worth 20,000 crores, they're extremely powerful in Dubai.
What a wealthy man he is. He is going to give me so much money.
Alimony.
Plus maintenance. The whole object of this is to extract money. Since 2019, there was a sea change in the attitude and behavior of the respondent. And there always existed a difference of opinion between petitioner and the respondent ever since the petitioner confronted the respondent on an illicit relationship with one by name so-and-so, who is a close friend of the petitioner herein. Nevada, it is very easy to get a divorce, I'm told.
Both,
So the go-
both marriage and divorce.
I want to point out, your lordship's lord, one important aspect. My lord, in the point that I raise, place for your lordship's consideration is, in respect of acts, because we are in a 482, my lord, I will assume that whatever is said in the complaint is true. In respect of acts alleged to have taken place in Dubai, is a petition before the Bangalore court maintainable is a question. And in this regard, my lord, I want, that's why, my lord, I want to show to your lordship what is the summum bonum of their complaint before, or the petition before the DV court. It is that in Dubai all this happened. And then, my lord, it will be my submission that their filing a petition here, coming, and even if they were staying for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days in Bangalore, they were birds of passage. She was a bird of passage. I am not using this term, my lord. Supreme Court uses that word. That you can't say you will take a hotel room and then say, I am residing there. My lord, that's what happened, my lord, in Delaware, in the United States. I'm told, my lord, it is easy to get divorce. So, my lord, what persons do is to go from one state, even though they are permanent residents of that state.
No, you're talking of Newark?
Nevada. Nevada. I am talking of Nevada. The state of Nevada. Yes, my lord. Not Delaware, Nevada. No, my lord. Nevada, it is very easy to get a divorce, I'm told.
Both,
So they go-
both marriage and divorce.
So, my lord, what they do is,
Incorporate a company.
yes, correct.
That's what.
Delaware
not-
is easy to incorporate a
but,
company. That was what is in my mind, my lord.
Never-
Because we have so many Delaware companies where I'm told, my lord, there are a series of boards there.
Delaware is, yes, that is company.
All companies are
Our
incorporated.
concept is only Nevada.
Nevada. I had that in my mind when I said Delaware.
Okay.
I made a mistake. I'm told, my lord, in Delaware, there are some boards put, series of boards. Board matra. Now, my lord, in Nevada, I am given to understand, my lord, that it is very easy to get a divorce because the law in that state, my lord, allows that. So, my lord, people from different state where it is difficult to get a divorce because of the law of that state, go, my lord, and take a hotel room and then show that as the address and then get a decree. When that type of a decree which was obtained in a Nevada court was put before the Honorable Supreme Court here saying that the marriage has been dissolved, Supreme Court said you are a bird of passage. Therefore, we will not recognize that decree. My lord, insofar as the respondent here is concerned, insofar as the Bangalore court is concerned, she is a bird of passage. And therefore, my lord, I want to show to your lordships the averments in the petition that has been filed, which is very material.
Vikram sir has read it out.
There are, if it is shown, my lord, I will not repeat it.
Paragraph read, I'll tell you.
I will show.
Yes.
One of the points that we have raised, apart from the fact, my lord, that the marriage has been dissolved in accordance with the Russian law, even when your lordship looks at the averments in the petition that has been filed before the DV court, all the allegations are with respect to what has happened in Dubai. Now, the question that I place for your lordship's consideration is, it is submitted that since 2019, there was a sea change in the attitude and behavior of the respondent. The respondent started to behave rudely with the petitioner and also used to quarrel with the petitioner for own reason. And there always existed a difference of opinion between petitioner and the respondent ever since the petitioner confronted the respondent on an illicit relationship with one by name so-and-so, who is a close friend of the petitioner herein. It is further submitted that petitioner since 2019, the relationship between petitioner and respondent has deteriorated on the fact that the respondent had involved in an illicit relationship with a friend of the petitioner, namely so-and-so. Then, my lord, I'm going to skip that. Then kindly come to paragraph number 9. That is very crucial. It is further submitted that in the year 2021,
Yes.
The respondent had placed African American securities at the entrance of the Meadows house and installed CCTV cameras inside the house. It is further submitted that upon arrival of the Meadows house is in Dubai, my lord, and the allegation of violence, domestic violence is there,
Yes.
is supposed to have happened in that place. It is further submitted that upon arrival of the petitioner from a business trip, the said African American securities prevented her from entering into her own house, obstructing her entry in an intimidating manner. The said act of the henchman hired by the respondent made the petitioner fear for her life and limb and left a deep psychological scar in the mind of the petitioner. It is further submitted that the petitioner could not enter into her own house and was allowed to enter only once. It is further submitted that the respondent had kept the petitioner's daughter out of the country on the pretext of her job, and when both the petitioner and her daughter traveled together, respondent had taken over the house and placed CCTV cameras in every nook and corner, including the bedrooms and common areas of the house. The daughter, my lord, here referred to is the daughter of the respondent through some other relationship. She sees there's that.
Some other relation.
Yes. Yes, my lord. She doesn't say.
Not the daughter born
No.
from this wedlock. Not from this wedlock.
No. In fact, the divorce, my lord, that is granted is premised on the footing that the marriage did not, there was no offspring from this marriage.
Oh.
Because, my lord, the Dubai consulate,
Mm.
the Russian consulate in Dubai
Mm.
will get authority and jurisdiction only if from the marriage there are no children.
Oh, that's the.
That's the requirement of that law. That's what your lordship saw in that legal opinion, my
Yes,
lord,
yes.
given by the lawyer.
Yes.
No, my lord, she is a daughter. In fact, she doesn't say which relationship also. She says from another relationship. Whatever, man. I'm not going into all that. I'm not relevant. Not relevant. I'm not going.
Whether she says or not, you are aware. So leave it. Yes.
I'm not. Yes. In any event, my lord, what is material? I wanted to point out that this is not a daughter born out of this marriage. That is all that is relevant for the purpose of this case. It is further submitted that the respondent had kept the petitioner's daughter out of the country on the pretext of her job, and when both the petitioner and the daughter traveled together, respondent had taken over the house and placed CCTV cameras in every nook and corner, including the bedrooms and common areas of the house. Additionally,
Yes.
placing 3 African American security guards to the house. It is further submitted that the respondent had informed the petitioner's daughter to pack her belongings in Bangalore and to return all her work equipment such as laptops, namely 1 MacBook. It is further submitted that when the petitioner and daughter were allowed to enter into her house, petitioner was barely allowed to rest and was not even allowed to freshen up as her belongings were kept packed in boxes. It is further submitted that the petitioner and her daughter were not allowed to consume food and were kept under hard, dire and threatening conditions with 3 African American security guards in the house round the clock.
Where?
Dubai, all this is in Meadows. All this is in Meadows, my lord.
Yes.
That's why, my lord, I'm finding out, assuming everything is true, I ask myself, how does it become a domestic violence for the purpose of the DV Act here? It is further submitted. It is that the petitioner was made to follow the directions and dictum issued by henchmen hired by the respondent. Petitioner, being a title holder of the house, was put under command of African American security guards who dictated every move in the house and screened all the visitors for their IDs, which caused great embarrassment and caused the petitioner to suffer severe mental trauma. It is further submitted that there was an unidentified gentleman in the house on watch, assumingly from law enforcement, given the respondent's financial position and political influence in the vicinity.
Political influence.
Malak,
Political influence
anta avaru helodu.
in Dubai.
That's what they are saying. Yes. Yes, that's what they're saying. It is further submitted that 3 days subsequent to this event, petitioner was wrongfully confined in her own house, with every move and conversation being recorded and tracked by the respondent. And then, my lord, they say again, same thing, my lord, this African American allegation is repeated. Your lordship may kindly turn to page 47. Line number 8. It is further submitted that the petitioner and her daughter at Meadows house spent sleepless nights by keeping their life on the hand with 3 unknown African American henchmen deployed by the respondent. The petitioner and the daughter were locked inside the room and threatened by the henchmen to sign on certain blank sheets of paper. Failing which, they put the life of the petitioner and daughter under dire consequences. When the petitioner declined to sign the blank papers, petitioner and the daughter had to face unpleasantness, humiliation, torture, and life threat, which shows the respondent's arrogance and atrocity towards women through henchmen. It is further submitted that the petitioner and daughter were left behind in the Meadows house by the respondent after the respondent had taken petitioner's jewels from the aforementioned safe. It is further submitted that the petitioner had spent a full month under supervision of cameras installed by the respondent in house, and additionally with 3 African-American security guards on watch round the clock, the petitioner and daughter faced severe mental pressure and a gross invasion of their private space and privacy. It is further submitted that petitioner and the daughter reluctantly decided to move out to the Meadows house as they could not bear the gross invasion of privacy and, more importantly, the life threat posed by the intimidating African-American security guards. It is further submitted the petitioner was threatened with dire consequences if she were to file a police report in Dubai
Against,
against the respondent. Respondent threatened the petitioner that if
the
you...
complaint is registered in Dubai?
No. Yenu madilla bro. I showed your lordship, he comes today to Bangalore, tomorrow institutes a petition for restitution of conjugal rights. Next day, files a petition under 125. Third day, files a DV case, goes off.
Back to Dubai.
Back to Dubai. This is what she has done. All this in 3 days is over now. Lord, this is clear abuse of process of court. I mean, in fact, my lord,
No, we are only examining whether the petitioner for under the domestic section 12 of the Act
Yes.
is maintainable for the reliefs that they are.
maintainable is one issue. Second is it an abuse of process of court?
Only if it is abuse process of law, if I come to that conclusion, only then I can entertain this.
Yes. No, man, there are 2 ways. One is if on the basis of the allegations in the complaint, it does not constitute, the DV Act does not apply. That is one ground. Secondly, taking the totality of circumstances and reading in between the lines, which is what your lordships will do, my lord, when all these complaints are filed day in and day out. And today, my lord, I saw something on bar and bench also. In a matter, my lord, his lordship Justice Gawai is sitting with 2 of the, of course, it's observation, not that he has said the act which is totally misused in this country is the DV Act. Of course, it's a statement that was made. I'm just not that it has any bearing on the judicial aspect of the case.
Yes.
Then, my lord, now, my lord, kindly see para 13. That's very important.
1-3.
1-3. Oh, I'm told it is shown to your lordships. If it is shown, I'm not going to waste your lordship's time.
Shown, read and reread.
Very well. I will skip that. But if it is shown, I'm not. Shown. Shown. Para 15, your lordship.
That I have seen.
Your lordship.
It is not shown. That's all right. बहुत बड़ी सर्वे का.
Okay.
Yes.
2 करोड़ हर महीने और 500 करोड़ का मुआवजा। जी हाँ, ऐसी ही एक चौंकाने वाली मांग पहुंची कर्नाटका हाई कोर्ट में, जहां सुनवाई कर रहे थे जस्टिस एम नागाप्रसन्ना। मामला था एक मैट्रिमोनियल डिस्प्यूट का, जहां पत्नी ने अपने पति से ये भारी भरकम रकम मांगी। लेकिन कोर्ट ने क्या कहा? कोर्ट ने साफ किया कि मेंटेनेंस कोई मनचाही रकम नहीं होती, बल्कि यह तय होती है पति की इनकम, लाइफस्टाइल और केस के फैक्ट्स के आधार पर। और इसीलिए इतनी बड़ी मांग को कोर्ट ने सीधे तौर पर स्वीकार नहीं किया। इस केस से एक बात साफ है, कोर्ट में सिर्फ बड़ी डिमांड करने से कुछ नहीं होता। कानून सिर्फ रीजनेबल चीज़ों को ही मानता है। तो अगली बार जब आप ऐसी वायरल खबर देखें, पूरी सच्चाई ज़रूर जानिए। ऐसे ही शॉकिंग लेकिन रियल कोर्ट केसेस जानने के लिए अभी सब्सक्राइब करें, क्योंकि सच हमेशा हेडलाइन से बड़ा होता है। धन्यवाद।